Hi guys, it is Wednesday of week 7, I believe it is. And today we're going to be doing page 303 to 304 general review. Now, don't worry, tomorrow's video, I say that it's Wednesday in tomorrow's video as well. I made a mistake on that one. It's actually Thursday in tomorrow's video, but I said Wednesday because I accidentally skipped a page, but that's okay. So tomorrow you'll be doing page 305 to 306. But today we're going to do page 303 to 304. So go ahead and get that out, get a pencil, and let's get moving. Okay, there we go, page 303 to 304. And we're going to look at section 1 right here. Because it's review, it's all review, like there's no lesson, right? It says, answer the questions about 5,183,604 and 729 thousandths. Which digit is in the thousandths place? Now remember, because it says THS, that is a decimal. So what we can do is count tenths, hundredths, thousandths. What digit's in the thousandths place? A 9. Remember, a digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Letter B. Which digit is in the millions place? What is it? 5. Good. 5 is in the millions place. How about in the tens place? Remember, I'm going to erase this so it's not confusing. Going from the decimal point left, it goes ones, tens, hundreds, and so on. So the number in the tens place is a 0, or the digit in the tens place is a 0. How about in the hundredths place? Remember, going to the right from the decimal is tenths, hundredths. It just gave us the answer. And we've already gotten thousands. So what number's in the hundredths place? A 2. And what number is in the 1,000ths place? Or we just call it the thousands place, right? A 3. I love that kind of review because it's stuff that we did at the beginning of the year, but it's still really important things that we need to know. Okay, around these decimals, number 3. We're going to go ahead and skip over number 2, but let's look at number 3. It says we have 0.0849 or 849 10,000ths. That's how you say that word, number. What number's in the tenths place? Remember, let's review. Here's my decimal, right? It goes tenths. Oops, if I could spell it right. If my stool doesn't keep moving. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and that's all we need to go to for this one. So what number's in the tenths place for 0.0849? But we're rounding. It's a 0, right? A 0's in the tenths place. That means the 8 is the boss, and the 8 is going to say round up or stay the same. 5 or more, up the score. 4 or less, don't mess. It's an 8. So what's going to happen to that 0? It becomes a 1. And so our answer is 0.1. Whenever we're dealing with tenths, we do not have to add any of the other zeros or the numbers if it comes after the place value, in this case, just the tenths. Now, let's do all the tenths. Let's do tenths for all of them. Let's look at letter B. We have 11.6193, or 11 and 6,193 10,000ths. What number is in the tenths place? If you said a 6, excellent job. That means the 1's the boss. Is it 5 or more up the score, or 4 or less, don't mess? 4 or less, don't mess. So anything to the left of the number that we are working with stays the same, and anything to the right of the number gets taken off, right? If it's decimals. So we're rounding to the nearest tenth would be 11.6, and we don't need any of those other numbers. Letter C, 5.2765, or 5 and 2,765 10,000ths. What number's in the tenths place? The 2. Good. That means the 7 is going to round up or stay the same. What's that 2 going to do? That 2 is going to go up because a 7 is bigger than a 5, right? So 5.3. Okay, let's go to the hundredths now. I'm going to erase this so we can work with it. We're going to go to the hundredths. That's what you guys can do on your paper as well, as you can underline kind of lightly and circle lightly and then erase. Hundredths, letter A, 0.0849. What number's in the hundredths place? Let's remember tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and then 10 thousandths. An 8, good. An 8 is in the hundredths place. That means the 4 is the boss. Are we gonna 5 or more up the score, or 4 or less, don't mess? 4 or less, don't mess. So remember, anything to the left stays the same, 0.0, and then with 4 or less, don't mess, so we're not gonna mess with that 8, 0.08. Let's go to B. 11.6193, what number's in the hundredths place? The 1, that means the 9 is the boss. Now we know this is more, right? So we're gonna up the score of the 1, and the 1 becomes a 2. And everything to the left stays the same, and the 1 becomes a 2. And we can just drop off the rest of those numbers, only if they're decimals, and in this case, they are. And then letter C, 5.2765. What's in the hundredths place? A 7, which means the 6 is the boss. It's 5 or more up the score, so the 7 becomes an 8. 5.28. Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's go to the thousandths. Erase this so we can work with it. Use a different color. Here we go. Letter A, I'm rounding to the nearest thousandths, 0.0849. What number's in the thousandths place? A 4. That means the 9 is the boss. What does that 9 make that 4 do? Up the score, right? We're going to up. So 0.085. That's to the nearest thousandth. Try B and C. I'll work them out. You work them out. Don't look at the screen and try it and see what you get. Okay, what'd you get? 11.619, because that 3 says, hey, don't round. And 5.277, because that 5 makes that 6 go up. Excellent job. Okay, let's look at number 4. Now, this is something we haven't done yet, but I want you to think about it. Any number that's negative is always less than a positive number, regardless of how big the digit is. So on A, -5 and 2, what would be the bigger number, the greater number? It would be 2, because 2 is further right on a number line. If I had a number line like this, and here's 0, here's 1, here's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is -5. 2 is further right on the number line, so 2 is greater. How about 4 and 0? What's greater? 4. They always throw those ones in there that are like obvious, right? How about C, -1 and 0? Which is greater? The 0. -8, -3. Now this one might be a little bit tricky, but let's think about our number line again. If I start at 0 and I go to -10 here, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is, so -3 would be here, and -8 would be here. So this is -8, this is -3. Which one is greater? Greater means further left on the number line. -3 is further left. Good. How about -3, -4? If that is -3, here's -4. Really right next to it. But -3 is still further left, further right on the number line. I'm sorry. Further right on the number line. So -3 is larger or greater. How about 6 and -6? Remember what I said at the beginning. Anytime you have a positive number and a negative number, the positive number is always greater, it's always bigger than the negative. So it is 6. Okay, so let's move on to the back of the page. Oh, nope, the bottom of the page. Let's look at letter I at the bottom of the page. We have here 6 cups, 3 fluid ounces times 5. Remember when we are multiplying with measurements or with compound measurements, we multiply the ones place, and then we multiply the tens place. So let's multiply that ones place there. What is 3 times 5? 15. 15 fluid ounces. And 6 times 5? 30. So 30 cups, 15 fluid ounces. Now, this might be the tricky part, but how many fluid ounces are in 1 cup? If you said 8, excellent job. If you didn't, there's 8 fluid ounces in a cup. So how many groups of 8 can I get out of 15? Just 1, right? So that means I'm going to trade 8 fluid ounces minus 8 fluid ounces for 1 cup plus 1 cup. All I did was trade that there. What's 15 minus 8? 7. 7 fluid ounces, and 30 plus 1 is 31 cups. Okay, letter J. Now we're going to be subtracting here, right? And when we are subtracting, we have to still follow subtraction rules. Remember, we subtract in columns. We do the right column, then we move over to the left column. Question, can you do 3 minus 7? No, you cannot do 3 minus 7. So that means you have to go to your neighbor. Take 1 away from your neighbor, and you're going to trade that 1 hour now for minutes. How many minutes are in 1 hour? 60. So we're going to add 60 minutes here. Remember, when we subtract with compound measurements, we rewrite it, okay? So we have 13 hours, 63 minutes, because I added the 3 I already have, minus 6 hours, 7 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. So 63 minus 7 is what? 56. 56 minutes. And 13 minus 6 is 7. 7 hours, 56 minutes. Letter K. Ooh, okay. When we add, can we just add? Oh yeah, we can just add. We don't have to do any conversions yet. That's at the end when we simplify. 200 plus 5,000. 5,200. 3 plus 8. 11. Now I have a question. How many feet are in 1 mile? There's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Do I have enough feet to convert to a mile? No, so guess what? We're done with that problem. If you don't have enough here to convert to here, then we're done. We're absolutely finished with that problem. So cool. Okay, let's go to the back of the paper. We're going to do some conversions with heat, with Celsius and Fahrenheit. We're just going to do 2 of them. We're going to do A and B. And it says to round to the nearest whole degree, so we might need to do that. Okay. Now, letter A on 7 says 60 degrees Celsius equals how many degrees Fahrenheit? We are converting to the Fahrenheit system, so we're going to use the Fahrenheit formula, or the F formula. F equals 9/5 C plus what? 32. Let's put that in. Let's plug in C. F equals 9/5 times 60 over 1 plus 32. Now, let's look here at, at this little multiplying. Do 5 and 60 share a common factor? They sure do. What common factor do they share? They share 5. So 5 goes into 5 one time, and 5 goes into 60 how many times? Well, let's say you don't know, right? Guys, what we can do is this. 5 goes into 6 one time, subtract, bring down. 5 goes into 10 2 times. So 5 goes into 60 12 times. Now at this point, because it can get a little messy, I'm going to rewrite the equation. F equals 9 times 12 plus 32. Let's think about our PEMDAS. Whenever we're dealing with multiple computations, with PEMDAS, are we going to do 9 times 12 first or 12 plus 32 first? 9 times 12. Oops, we're not going to erase it. Okay, so let's do 9 times 12. What is 9 times 12? 108. So F equals 108 plus 32. What's 108 plus 32? 140. So our Fahrenheit equals 140 degrees. And we can put that in the blank here too. Thank you guys for working these out with me. I can tell you guys have been doing so amazing on all of your assignments and so amazing on your tests. I'm overflowing with like pride from you guys. You guys are doing such a great job. Okay, letter B. We're using the C formula because that's what we're trying to figure out. So C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. C equals 5/9 times, and our Fahrenheit in this case is 48, minus 32. So I'm going to come here and do 48 minus 32, which is 16, right? C equals 5/9 times 16 over 1. Now, do 16 and 9 share any common factors? No, they don't. So what we need to do is multiply 16 times 5 and then divide by 9. So let's do that. 16 times 5 is 80. 80 over 9. Now we can divide. So we have 80 divided by 9. Does it go in 9 times? Nope, that's a little bit too much. It goes in 8 times, 72. So I get 8 and 8/9. Now I have a question. What happens, I'm going to rewrite this so we can see it a little better. What happens when we have a fraction that has a 9 as a denominator? What is the decimal for that fraction? It's the numerator repeating. You guys are learning that. C equals 8.8 degrees. And our directions say, that says percent, doesn't it? 8.8 degrees. Now the directions say to round to the nearest whole degree. So this 8 is in the whole degree or the ones place, and this 8 is the boss. So how many degrees Celsius do we have here? 9 degrees Celsius. Awesome job, guys. Okay. Let's look at write the decimal equivalent. 12%. How do we change a percent to a decimal? How do we do that? We move our decimal 2 places to the left, right? 1, 2. So 12% becomes 0.12. I would like you to try B, C, and stop there. Try B and C. I'm going to do it here, and you just look up when you're done. You ready? So when you move your decimal, because it's over 100%, you're going to get what's called a mixed decimal. It's a whole number and a decimal. So 125% becomes 1.25, and 1,183% becomes 11.83. Now let's look at D, 5/8. What is 5/8 as a decimal? Who remembers 5/8 as a decimal? 0.625. Good. 0.625. How about 2/3 as a decimal? What do you think? What? 6 repeating. How about 4/5? 0.8. And 9 3/4. Now this is a fractional percent to a decimal, right? So the fractional percent that we have here is 9 3/4%. And we're going to change that to 9.75%. Some of you guys are probably already done. And move our decimal twice. 0.0975. One last one. How about 1/6? 0.1 with a 6 repeating. Okay. We are going to do one more section together, and then you guys will get your assignment. Some of you already saw it, but that's okay. We're going to do our assignment. Let's look at 9. Solve for x. I have a. X over 5 equals 3/7. Now, I cannot easily multiply from 5 to 7. So in that case, what is the thing that I need to do? What's a process called? Cross multiplication. Good. Someone told me X multiplication. Sure, same thing, okay? So when we cross multiply, we get, and I like to do the one that has a variable on the left-hand side. 7x equals 3 times 5. 7x equals 15. How do I get x by itself? How do I isolate? Divide by 7. X equals, now let's do this mentally. How many times does 7 go into 15? 2 whole times. How much is left over? What's 2 times 7? 14. Now what's 15 minus 14? 1. So 2 and 1, 7. Okay, let's move on. How about B? 5x minus 4 equals 6. How do I isolate? What's the very first step in order to isolate? Add 4 to both sides. 5x equals 10 because that's bye-bye. How do I isolate x now? What's the opposite of multiplying by 5? Divide by 5. X equals 2. Yay, we're doing so awesome. What are we going to do here again? Cross multiply. Good. C, we're going to cross multiply. And D, I want you to try C and D. Press pause and come back and see how you did. Okay, so for C, we had to use cross multiplication. And when we do that, we get 7x equals 2 times 20, or 7x equals 40. Then we divide by 7, and the final answer is 5 and 5/7. With letter D, it was a little tricky, but if you remember to do your exponents first, you did great, right? So 2 squared is actually 4. Then we could subtract 4, and we get 6x equals 24. And then to divide by 6, we get x equals 4. You guys are doing so great. Okay, so tonight, your assignment is, I'm going to write it right here. Your assignment tonight is page 303, number 6A through H. You're going to do a great job. I will see you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's video says Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. I just made a mistake. Okay, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.